Hi everyone, my name is TJ Carabeo and welcome to Community Producers. Community Producers is a volunteer program where volunteers share their stories in partnership with our friends at Shaw TV. We have many stories to highlight, but in the meantime, we start with our very first, which involves myself at the local cafe, Mitchell's. I team up with owner Owen and he takes us on a journey on how to make one of their delicious sandwiches. Hello Wood Buffalo, TJ here, and we are at Mitchell's Cafe with Mr. Owen. We're making a sandwich today. What kind of sandwich are we making, Owen?
Well, I'm going to start us off with probably our most classic bestseller, the turkey cranberry.
Turkey cranberry. Can you tell us what's in the turkey cranberry sandwich?
Well, what's in the turkey is we always like to start out with our sunshine bread.
Oof.
Which to me, the most important part about making a sandwich is the bread. You know, whether you come down here and grab a loaf to make your sandwiches on, or you pick one up from the store fresh, it's always good to grab, you know, a fresh loaf of bread, made in store if possible, with a good best before date on it.
Okay, so why is the bread yellow?
Well, I mean, if we shared that with everyone out there in TV land, I don't know if they'd be out with TJ anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, because that's our secret.
Fine. How do we make this sandwich, Owen?
Well, I'm a strong believer in sealing our bread before we start making any sandwich. What sealing the bread means, TJ, is taking a spread like a margarine or a butter. You know, we like to use margarine here at the shop to save some dollars because butter can get pretty expensive. So it's all about sealing the bread. I'm a strong believer in corner to corner makes the world go around. So you want to make sure that you get every little bit of bread sealed with your margarine. And that's just going to prevent any sogginess from any of your sauces like your mayo, your mustard, your chutney from going through the bread and making a soggy sandwich. What goes next is we're going to start with our sauce. So today when doing the cranberry chutney, we're using our homemade cranberry sauce here at Mitchell's. What I'm going to do is add a nice serving of that because that's where your flavor comes from. It comes from your meat and from your sauces, right?
So is it like cranberry sauce?
Well, it's like a homemade, a chutney is like a flavored jam, you know, so it's like a spiced jam is what chutney kind of is. Man, makes the sandwich taste good. There we go. So you always want to use the freshest meats and freshest vegetables because that's going to make your sandwich really taste awesome.
Okay.
So we like to use the meat shop up in Thickwood. They smoke our ham, roast beef, and smoked meat and some of our specialty meats. We do our pulled pork and turkey and pork loin and all of our tuna and egg salads in-house.
What part of the turkey is that?
So this is an all white meat breast. And also, like I said, fresh ingredients. So we're adding our fresh sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, which are full of nutrition, super tasty. Topping that off with a beautiful piece of green leaf lettuce. We're going to close that sandwich up. And you know, for myself at home, I like to do the half and half cut. But here at the shop, we like to do the angle cut. You know, half and half works for sharing, but an angle really looks good.
All for you.
It's all for you. So you open that up, you see our layers. We see our bread is super thick, not pushed down by any of the weight I put on it. And there you are.
That looks delicious, Owen.
Thanks, TJ.
Are we gonna eat it?
Sure.
Can
I'll
we
take
eat it?
one half, you take one half. I like to open the middle first.
Welcome back to this segment of Community Producers. As I travel around in our city, I hope to educate you on the many different events that this region has to offer. Behind me is McDonald Island Park, a facility that houses a ton of different activities for families. One of the activities that took place was the Multicultural Expo, which offered many cultural dishes and dance performances by various countries. And before we leave the island, we make a quick stop at the Kirshner Family Community Art Gallery to see a solo art exhibit on display.
Thanks for being here and supporting our Multicultural Association.
You know, the Multicultural Expo has been happening for the last 7 years. This past one was the 7th one. We host the expo as a way of celebrating different cultures under one roof. We traditionally have a lot of food, a lot of dancing, a lot of cultural crafts, displays, and just a ton of people walking throughout the event. So this year we had the Parade of Nations incorporated into the expo, which we've never had in the past. Parade of Nations was a choreographed piece where we had about 40 people or more walk in during the Canadian anthem, and a choreographed piece that circulated throughout the Nexon Fieldhouse. We added one more activity booth where Russell Thomas was there to do live painting throughout the event. We've never had that. We have had an all-time high actually for booth numbers, 38 this year, so we had to kind of squeeze everyone in, and so that was super exciting. Just a count of volunteer hours was more than 2,100. Each of the booths are manned by volunteer booths for the cultural groups as well. So overall, Expo was around 2,100 volunteer hours. We're still deciding if we're keeping it in the Family Day long weekend or if we're going to try to move the weekend, but it will be in February, same venue, and we're hoping for an even bigger one. Each year I know that a lot of people look forward to it, and we're super excited to be able to put that on for the community.
Today we're seeing Renee Menner's solo exhibition. This is who she is, and Renee is very known in the community right now. This is the reflection of her character, and she loves to show that, and she loves to share her thoughts and art with the community.
Yeah, I think in 18 or 19 I was out on my own, and I saved up enough money to buy myself a duvet and a duvet cover, which was huge for me. I think it cost the same amount as my rent. Over time it got dingy and old, and I had to retire it, but I felt so awful getting rid of it. So I turned it into a drop cloth, and it has every piece of work I've ever done.
I really like the color spectrum. I don't know what it was, but just seeing them all displayed together, something about it just spoke to me, and I think it was the brightness of it, and Renee spoke to this as well, how the bright colors reflect what she sees as like happiness and joy.
One of the colors in the Roy G. Biv series that she has, it's the red one. It just really struck me because of just the blending of it and the circular of it, and in the middle it looks like there's an eye. And I don't know if she did that on purpose or not, but I'm looking at it, it's looking at me. It was just really, really cool to look at and fall into. Art enriches your life anyway, and so any chance you get to sort of see a perspective of life, like I said, through someone else's eyes, it's just something bigger for you. So come on down, and it's here for several weeks, so it's fun.
Welcome back to Community Producers. I'm TJ Carabeo, and behind me is Peter Pond Mall, where World Hijab Day was celebrated with friends, families, and neighbors. World Hijab Day was founded in 2013 and is celebrated in over 140 countries worldwide. The main purpose of this day is to fight discrimination against Muslim women through education and awareness.
So World Hijab Day was started 6 years ago in New York by Nazma Khan, and the idea is to celebrate the hijab, the Islamic headscarf I'm wearing right now. In Fort McMurray, we've been doing it for 5 years. It's our big celebration today, the 5th year, and as you can see right behind me, huge crowd, community support, and we are very grateful to everybody for being here. We were supposed to start at 1 o'clock, they started coming at 12:15, so many women have already been through, and little girls are coming and trying on the hijab and having fun and just looking awesome.
We live live in one of the most diverse places in all of Canada. It's something I'm extremely proud of. And we need to promote understanding as much as we can. And that's exactly what this event does.
I really like the experience. I think it really showcases a woman's beauty and their dignity, and I think it's really an important thing for us to come out and show our support to everyone who lives here. And I think having that experience, understanding how they feel every day, I think is an important thing. Inclusion is incredibly important for our community. We have a huge priority placed on making our region inclusive and vibrant and really celebrating the diversity that's found here. So we're putting a lot of emphasis on that as a council, and you'll even find it in our latest strategic plan that just came out last week.
It means that we can celebrate one another despite our differences and still come together as humans. The idea is to come and find out what the hijab is, why we wear it, that we do it with choice, with pleasure and delight, and that's what women are doing right now, pleasure and delight and having lots of fun.
To converse, not convert, we are here with heart, to keep us together and our differences apart. Thank you for choosing to walk with us. Thank you for this beautiful start.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to highlight an alternative way of teaching children. Welcome back to Community Producers. We're at Walter and Gladys Hill Public School, where they offered a Reggio-inspired programming for preschool and kindergarten age students. Leslie Booker teaches the program and takes us into her classroom.
Hi, I'm Leslie Booker. I'm a Reggio-inspired classroom teacher, and this is my classroom. So, a Reggio-inspired classroom is where we believe each child is coming to us ready to learn, and we are running along with them at the same time, learning with them, playing with them, taking them to wherever they want to go. So we have a child-centered focused philosophy, basically.
We love school!
I think what stands out for me the most about it is how we have open-ended, inquiry-based play. Sometimes you just never know what is going to come out. Like, you can think that they're going to do this today with all these things out on the table, but it ends up they've taken it in a totally different direction, and that's okay because they are learning and their friends are learning with them. Part of the Reggio philosophy is 100 different languages that children bring with them. And that means that they can show what they know in 100 different ways. So they may be beading, they may be working in clay, they could be painting something, they could be building something. And all those different ways they're showing us what they know. So in a Reggio classroom, we never put away the crayons or the markers, or that's at their fingertips. On top of that, we always have some really fantastic art activities. So I think our program is full of hands-on, very fun art things for the kids to do. In a Reggio-inspired classroom, parents pay a little bit extra money for their child to be enrolled in our program. But that enables us to buy some pretty specialized paint and watercolor papers, and we go on field trips out in the community. We bring artisans into the classroom, and we have kind of some specialized materials here for the kids to play with. So I think that's, for me, one thing that makes Reggio a little bit different than a traditional early childhood classroom. I think that parents who want our Reggio-inspired program choose it because they like the fact that we honor each individual child and their learning. I think they really like our learning environment, how we engage families. We have a lot of family events. It's a great first experience of school. Children can come to our early child Reggio inspired program and then go into a kindergarten Reggio inspired program here at Walter and Gladys Hill, and then enter into grade 1, being confident learners, full of their own ideas and having a very strong oral language base. We've fostered their curiosity and their investigation skills. They're good problem solvers. They're good citizens. I think we do a good job getting them really prepared for grade 1 and the years beyond. I love teaching in this way. I love planning this way for the kids. I love documenting what I'm seeing while they're playing. So for me as a teacher, I think I was meant to teach in the Reggio Inspire program because it's truly an amazing way to work with kids.
Bullying in the workplace and in our schools has been a topic in media for many years. To bring light to this topic and in hopes of promoting change, Westview Public School held Pink Shirt Day, an anti-bullying campaign to take a stand on bullying. Community producer and principal of Westview Public School, Jeff Porter, explains in more detail.
Pink Shirt Day is about, it's just to spread awareness for bullying and how we shouldn't bully. And it's about the story about how a boy in grade 9 went on the first day of school and wore a pink shirt and everyone bullied him. So then these other older kids, they got everyone to wear pink shirts, and then that was the whole start of Pink Shirt Day.
The kids are aged 3.5 to 4.5, and we have been talking about filling people's buckets, always making them feel good. So today, wearing our pink shirts, we said that we work together and always kindness. So their handprints on the wall is a pledge that they'll always be kind to their friends.
Our parent group bought every kid a pink t-shirt, so we would all have them. So we passed them out this morning. We have SOS here this afternoon. We have some district people here for technology. We're just doing a lot of different workshops, trying to keep it fun for the kids. So every 30 minutes there's a different station.
Sometimes it's overwhelming at a young age, or even when you get older, feeling those emotions in your body and just kind of getting into a sense of being more self-aware. Our body is a beautiful tool, our mind, so when we can observe what's happening in our body and observe our thoughts in our mind, that we can kind of become in more control instead of just in a reactive state.
Every year, Keanu Theater holds a musical for the public to enjoy, and this year it was The Drowsy Chaperone, a musical within a comedy. As we take a closer look into this magical world, we learn a little bit more of what goes into making this show as we go behind the scenes.
I think I have what you different speed. It's like
You have to be dedicated in order to be a theater person, but it just amazes me, 12 hours will go by and it feels like 2, right? Just because there's something happening, you're interacting with people, you're working on choreography. Time just disappears for me. It's such a wonderful, warm group of people, and it is like a second family. Everybody really supports each other, and we coming in just on a short-term 6-week contract kind of thing, we're adopted and embraced, and it's just such a nice feeling to be part of that.
Well, I have to say I have had a great time. It's such a funny show, and the cast from the community are just a delight to work with. They're so playful, and they're willing to take risks and do crazy things, and so I kind of applaud them for that. It's just been a totally fun project for me.
If you don't already know, you are blessed to live in a community with a theatre like this. As far as amateur theatres go across Canada, this is one of the tops in terms of production value, and you would be surprised the amount of talent that exists in this town.
You won't be returning to the stage, ever?
I shan't.
You shan't?
I had never auditioned for any kind of theater before, and so it was very intimidating. But it was very supportive. Like the people that were there, they were all practicing and trying out for the same roles, and so I felt supported even though I was scared to death.
And then what happened?
Well, then we kissed. An accident waiting to happen. It's a very physical show, obviously, a lot of dance numbers, but everybody, as I say, we're all having fun together, but it has just been a thrill.
And I've been in numerous productions with Keanu since 2014, but a musical is different. It was much harder than I thought it would be. You develop as a person. You need to question yourself along every single step of the way. And sometimes you discover something new. You discover friends you would never have met, and I would have never spoken to them if it wasn't for the theater.
I would say just get out there and do it because, like I mentioned, it's like a new family. It's such a wonderful, positive environment. It makes you feel good about yourself. You'll develop new friends, and it's so cathartic in so many ways that only theater can do.
We want to see more people out auditioning for the shows. We do have several members in the cast that, were very raw. It's either their first time on stage or their second time on stage, and maybe couldn't dance, and that was intimidating for them. And I just, it's a chance to try something different. It's an opportunity to try something new. And, we've had people that come in and say, well, I can't sing, but they are interested in trying out for the musical. So we say, well, sing Happy Birthday, right? I always say if you can walk, you can dance. And even if you can't, you can dance with your hands. And if you can talk, you can sing. Everybody can sing, they just maybe haven't tried it before.
And what is one thing you've taken away from this whole experience or you've learned that you'll probably carry with yourself?
Oh, I think I've learned that there's amazing people in this world, and it's just a real joy to be with incredible actors in this play, and how dedicated they are to the arts, and they've just been amazing, and I'll take that away, that the wonderful people that I've got to work with in this play.
Patience. To be patient with yourself, be patient with the people around you, be patient of the process, trust it. That, put in the hard work, and you'll see results. That you might not be, the best singer in the world afterwards, but you will see results. You will have learned something along the way.
I've just been reminded again of how important teamwork is, and how teamwork brings out the best in people.
I have so many fond memories of being in this theater, and it's great to be back. Take advantage of it, get out and do something different, see a play, see a musical. This show, The Drowsy Chaperone, is so funny. If the audience has half as much fun as the cast and I have putting it together, they're going to go away feeling fantastic.
That's all the time we have for community producers. If you would like to be a volunteer host like myself, contact Shaw TV at Shaw TV Fort McMurray at sjrb.ca. I'm TJ Carabeo, and thanks for watching Community Producers.